exchanges have had their own speed in terms of how quickly they've integrated Lightning, and Okcoin was super early in terms of adopting Lightning. And so I want to ask you, what did you see in Lightning that made you want to get on this early, and what are you seeing as you've implemented this over time?
Yeah. Also, like Elizabeth, I feel very honored to be here. We integrated Lightning more than a year ago, March 2021, I believe. I think the whole thing, we need to go back to why we are building our platform, which is called Okcoin, a global crypto exchange to serve customers getting onto, into Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, sell Bitcoin, and some of the other assets. Why we're building that? We actually have a lot of people on our team coming from very different backgrounds. And somehow we all share this passion of building an alternative system that is more transparent, that is more inclusive, that is not being controlled or biased toward one party or the other. And me personally, for example, I grew up in China, and I personally grew through the period when the country opened up to the external world and adopted a more free market-oriented approach. I ended up coming to going to US, and lived in the US for the last more than 16 years now, because I see more dynamics, more interesting innovations coming out of a free market environment. I actually worked in financial institutions with Goldman for almost 10 years. But what I've learned when I was at Goldman, particularly during the financial crisis, is that there is actually an element of imbalance, an element of unfairness in the system, in the current system. When we are talking about free markets, there was something that was not totally free. And I didn't realize that until actually in 2016 when I came across Bitcoin, when I realized, okay, this is something that actually represents a free monetary system that has never been done before in the way that it was designed, where the money is not created by any government, is not backed by any government or any central organization, but somehow can help people form consensus, thereby enable value transmission on a large scale between individuals. That in itself was unprecedented and can actually help us fix things. So that's how me personally got into Bitcoin and got into the space. We also have a lot of people on our team who, for example, came from Latin America, who, like some of the other panelists talk about, went through hyperinflation and where their personal value and their family was under huge pressure in preserving the value that they're creating. We also have people migrated from former Soviet Union to United States, where when they were a kid, they had to move with their family members, with their parents, left everything behind in their native country, have nothing to start with. They have to start with scratch because all their wealth were left behind. They cannot bring anything with them. And with Bitcoin, if they had Bitcoin back then, it would be a totally different story. So there are so many people on our team with different diverse background, but coming to the same realization that if we want to build something different, if we want to give people, individuals, more empowerment, more control over what we want, how we are creating value, how we are preserving our value and wealth, how we are passing our wealth to the next generation or to whoever you want, we need a different system. And in building that system, the free markets is, again, the foundation that we have to do. That's why we are here to build a platform. But when we look at, for example, exchanges and the crypto markets, the earlier stages, crypto assets are very much speculative, highly volatile, and attract a lot of traders to the space, which in itself is fair. But one thing that we want to absolutely avoid is to be distracted into the wrong direction as we started building on this. We want to make sure that we focus on the foundation. And Bitcoin, to us, is the foundation and anchor of the new system we're building. And that's why we want to be able to support building the use cases for Bitcoin. And the important use case, apart from the store of value, which made it a great asset for individuals and institutions, is the payment utility that we see in Lightning Network that made it actually possible. That's a long answer to your question, but that was really how we decided that we want to actually integrate Lightning to our product, even if it was probably the customer base asking for that. There's a increasingly stronger voice in our community asking for Lightning for various reasons. I can talk about that, but it's still a smaller portion compared to the larger population that are coming into the space and buy and trade the assets. But still, we feel like it's important to be able to help that network effect kick off earlier on, so that we can keep the integrity of Bitcoin as what it's designed to be.
And what kind of activity are you seeing on the nodes that you're running, and how's that? You said it's been a year so far, so how's that been going up to this date?
Yeah, we've been seeing decent growth in Lightning transactions that come through our nodes. We actually collaborated with Elizabeth's team to enable that. There are different use cases for that, but I would say, for customers who come to us and use Lightning, there are two main reasons for using Lightning Network. One is transaction fee, low transaction fee. 95% came to us, and because they think that the transaction fee through Lightning is fractional of what you would generally do on chain through Bitcoin. The second is the speed of transaction. So, for example, if you send a Bitcoin or receive a Bitcoin on the layer 1 protocol level, generally it takes about 10 minutes right now, 6 blocks, 10 minutes to confirm a transaction. But through Lightning, which is a second layer, it's almost real time. So about 90% also came to us through Lightning because of either lower cost or immediacy of the transaction. We've also heard from our customer base, some of them are even using Lightning to do monthly or weekly allowances for their family, for their kids, because it can be in small amounts and it's real time, and it gives them a sense of empowerment at a very early stage. So we found that to be very endearing to us and make us feel good.
There's a community member named Bitcoin Rabbi who also wrote a children's book on Bitcoin, and he pays his kids their allowance with Lightning. So check that out.
Yeah.
And so,
one thing I would just add, because you mentioned Visa and MasterCard, I'm not sure how many people in the audience are actually paying attention to the capital markets, but Visa and MasterCard are the two biggest payment companies in the world. But the combination of their market cap is actually less than the size. Oh, actually, probably not today, given the drop of the price. I would say 2 months ago, maybe. Less than Bitcoin's market cap. So I think that in itself is actually a very powerful argument in the value of Bitcoin as the programmable global money network that in itself actually takes on life and evolve and take on adoption in different parts of the world without a centralized organization, without a centralized CEO driving to build it.